It's time, everyone. It is time. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to stand up. And it's time to wake up the Lions. Thanks for joining us today, folks. This is our new podcast. My name is Rory Paquette. I am the host of Wake Up the Lions, and we are on a mission. If you've heard my other podcasts, The Power of Man or The Podcaster Nation, you have a pretty good idea of how I do things, how we roll. We'll be bringing people on. We'll be doing a lot of interviews. We'll also be doing a lot of solo episodes. But everything that we're doing is based on one single mission, and that is to build a community, to build a worldwide congregation, to build ourselves and each other, and to build faith for others in the power and the glory of God. Folks, there's just simply not enough of this out there. And the bottom line is when you're called to do something, as I have been, you listen. When you're called, you act. And that's brought us here today. I had a gentleman come on my podcast, and he and I had a great talk about Christianity, what it was like when we were both, younger, and what it's like today, things like that. And he said a few things to me about, what it looks like today. And, when you walk into a Christian bookstore, for instance, or when you see the idea of Christianity out there, you see meadows, you see lambs. It's sunshine, right? Maybe a field. It's very peaceful. And that's the idea of Christianity. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's just one side of it, folks. This podcast is for any and all Christians who believe in God and believe in the power of God, believe in Jesus. That's what it's for. It's for folks to come on here and share their testimony, talk about how God has impacted their lives, how their faith has helped them persevere, has helped them overcome, to tell their stories about their relationship with God. It's not intended to shove some sort of religion or some sort of belief down somebody's throat. Folks, it's a podcast. If you're not a non-believer, I absolutely respect that. Just change the channel. This isn't the podcast for you. I have two others you can go listen to. But if you are, then this is a home. This is a safe place. And I think that we need that now. But getting back to Christianity, like I said, it's a very peaceful idea. And folks who have thought of it in the past have thought, well, it's calm, it's peaceful, and they've basically classified Christians as pushovers, and they've treated us that way, and they've taken away our ability to go worship together. They have, in many cases, shadow banned us on social media, suppressed our posts. Um, there's organized movements to beat us down with shouting and hatred simply because we praise God. What nobody really realizes, and what all of these people who feel this way don't understand, is that that's not the Christianity that I grew up with. And this gentleman that I spoke with, he gave me some good examples, and I agreed with him so much that I've taken it 10 steps further. What he said was the Christianity that we grew up with was, Samson killing thousands of soldiers by swinging a jawbone, David taking out Goliath on a battlefield, King David being told by God that, he's not allowed to partake, in the blessings because he has blood on his hands. Moses, everyone knows that there was the parting of the Red Sea. What they don't talk about is how the Egyptian soldiers pursued them and then the Red Sea dropped on them. That part gets left out. You see, all throughout the history of the Bible, there are figurative lions, people who have been willing to stand up for what they believe in and speak his word. And as I spoke with this gentleman, he said to me, Rory, where are the lions of the church? And I've taken that several steps further now from that original conversation. And I've said, where in the world are the lions of God? For the last 4 to 6 years, we've watched Christianity just come under fire and be pushed around and be negated, be twisted, be altered into something that it's not. Why? We don't ask anybody else to change their beliefs, and yet we're supposed to. Folks, the lions are not out there to fight anyone. The lions are not out there to put anyone else down. Because you see, in true Christianity, we don't believe that you have to hurt someone else in order for you to thrive. We don't believe that you have to negate someone else's beliefs in order to celebrate your own. We believe what we believe it very strongly, and we should be able to proclaim it. What that looks like now is you proclaim it, and you are punished. You are canceled. You are shadow banned or outright banned. You are suppressed. You are persecuted. And that has led to the lions of God falling silent. Now, what is a lion of God? You might be wondering, right? At this point, in this context, when I refer to the lions of God are men and women that are simply willing to share their testimony, share how God has impacted their lives, help them overcome, help them persevere, and share it out loud, publicly, with at least one person. And what I ask of the people who come on this show is to take it a step further. Everyone who comes on this show, I'm going to ask them for their testimony. I'm going to ask them for their story. And I ask that in hopes that sharing their testimony and sharing their story will inspire someone who maybe isn't a believer or is a believer but it doesn't believe that strongly to search their heart. It will inspire people who, may not yet be lions to look inward, to maybe, find out more about Jesus and what he's done. And at the end of that interview, I'm going to ask every single one of them to pledge, not to me. I'm nobody. I'm just a faithful servant. But to pledge to God that they will share that testimony with 10 more people. Now, folks, just right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, as an experienced podcaster, as someone who does this for a living, this is my profession. I'm going to tell you right now that I have all the certainty in the world that we will have 100 episodes done by the end of this calendar year. We will have at least 100 interviews done by the end of this calendar year. And so when you look at that and you say that's 100 people who are out there telling 10 more people their story, that are also telling their story to hundreds or thousands of listeners. When you apply the compound effect to that messaging, to that word, folks, we're going to impact a lot of lives. And all it takes is someone to stand up and say, you know what? It's time. And as I was talking about this, I was saying, I wonder why this isn't being done. How is this a new idea? Well, I just interviewed another gentleman who's working on a pro-life movement. And part of his story is that he was thinking, hey, this is an issue that he was working on. I wonder why nothing's being done about it while he was mowing his lawn. And he distinctly heard a voice going through his mind, going through his heart, saying, what are you doing about it? Folks, I heard the same exact thing. I heard the exact same thing. I heard the voice that said, Rory, why aren't you doing something about it? You have the platform. You're successful at podcasting. God gave you a voice. He gave you the ability to do this. Why aren't you using those abilities for this? And folks, let me tell you, when you are called, you answer. And I looked at my wife and I told her what I felt like I needed to do. And she just said, if that's what you're called to do, then that's what you got to do. And my wife is always right. So, folks, this is why we're doing this. That's what lions are. So let's talk about some other things that have to do with the lions of God. You see, there is a huge, very powerful movement amongst the young lions. My sons are both involved in it. I am witnessing it building at a rapid rate. They are building discipleships. They're, men that follow them are building discipleships. I am watching this grow. I'm watching the message flow. And the only thing missing is the guidance. And believe me when I tell you that these young lions, they're going to figure it out. If they never receive that guidance, they're going to handle it just fine. But the sad part, the pathetic part, actually, is that what they're missing are the old lions, the mentors, the fathers, the old lions that went silent. They are building a movement and they're saying, where is the guidance that I need? Where are these old lions to help us, to show us the way, to lead? Well, let me tell you, I have had hundreds of men come on my podcast. I've had dozens of women come on my other podcast, all talking about their faith. And I've learned so much from all of them. I've been impacted by every single one of them in ways that I can never even fully express. And what I've realized is that the lions who went silent fall into two categories. There's only two types of lions that went silent. The ones who went silent out of fear, the ones who went silent because they were afraid of being canceled or they were afraid of threats. And they decided to change. They said, it's not worth it. I love God, but it's just not worth, my safety. It's not worth my career. So I'm going to just be quiet and stop being a Christian. And that group of people, it's very unfortunate for them that that happened. It never should have happened, but it did. And I think the world thought that that was what happened to all of the lions who went silent. What they didn't realize is that there's a second group of lions who went silent, folks. The group of lions that went silent that's a little different, they went silent for a little while. They went silent and they waited. They went silent and they built their faith. They got stronger and they've been waiting. That group of lions, folks, has been waiting for the trumpet to sound. They've been waiting for the sign that says, it's time. I'm speaking to all of you out there that are in that category of lions, all of you out there that have been biding your time, that have been quiet by choice, waiting for that moment. And my message to you is that your time has come. Your time is now. The trumpet has sounded, and it's time to get back. Get back up, get back in the fight, and fight for what you believe in. It's time. It's time for those lions to lead the way. It's time for folks like us, men and women who believe, who have a testimony, who are willing to say, God impacted our lives. Here's how. Here's what happened. Here's why. It's important that we step up because we need to be the first ones through that wall. The first ones through the wall always get a little bit bloody. They always take a little bit of a beating. And you know what? That's okay. That's what has to happen. Absolutely has to happen. Because we need to go through that wall first so that the young lions can come after. They're the ones who are going to build the next generation. They're the ones that are the future of this thing. And we have to show them the way. Folks, Wake Up the Lions is a movement. I've been working on it behind the scenes for a very long time. I've been putting it together in pieces. And the podcast here, spreading the word, bringing people on and going public. Folks, this is what makes us lions. So when people come on my show, they're coming on to share their testimony. They're coming on to inspire and motivate people to look at God, to look at themselves and say, hey, possibly God has impacted your life. Maybe you don't even know it yet. They're coming on my show to spread that word and to give credit where credit is due. Many of us think that we've fought all these battles ourselves in this world, that we relied only on ourselves. And, it's the story of, hey, there's only one set of footprints, so God wasn't with me. And it never occurs to us that maybe he was carrying us. Folks, this is huge. If you're a Christian, man or woman out there, I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your background is. I don't care what you do for a living. If you are a Christian out there and you are ready to share your testimony and you are ready to motivate somebody with your words so that they will listen to his, then this is the place for you. There is no qualification for coming on here other than you need to be a Christian who believes in God and you're willing to tell everyone. And that's that. And after that, I'm going to ask you to personally tell 10 people your story. That's it. And folks, watch this grow. Watch it grow. I have been as low as I ever thought I could get. And for a long time, I couldn't explain it. I thought something happened. Something woke me up and said, hey, wake up. Fix things. And folks, it wasn't until just a few short years ago that I actually understood what had happened to me in that really low time. There are several points in my life where I shouldn't even be here. Things happen to me that honestly I should not be here talking on this microphone. And yet somehow I am. Somehow I'm here. And I have built this platform. And I have these listeners, listeners like you, powerful people who are ready to act. So, folks, if I don't use those blessings in his name, then I may as well be denying him. And frankly, that's what we do. When you don't stand up to be counted, when you don't stand up and proclaim yourself and proclaim him, you are in fact denying him. And I'm not sure that you even think about it that way. And I know that certain things can happen. You talk about God, and I put out one post about this podcast coming up, and I use the word God in it. And folks, I'm not putting out hate. This isn't against some religion. It's not against some group of people. I absolutely believe in live and let live in peace. I mean, if you're listening to this right now and you're not a believer, I respect the fact that you don't believe. You have the right to make up your own mind. My only hope is that somehow through my words and actions, I can possibly change your mind, possibly get you to, open the Bible or look it up online. Look into God, see what he has to offer. It's a pretty good deal. Everlasting life, forgiveness, you know, it's not bad. But folks, if you walk in here and you say, "Hey, I don't want to hear this because I'm a non-believer," well, great. I still have nothing but love for you. Good luck. And yet I put a post up, no hate, simply talking about a podcast coming out. And I had the word God in the post. And I had over 200 responses of hate directed at me. This is not an accident. People I've never even heard of responding, calling me every name in the book. So I know that we face these things. I've faced them. I've been doing my other podcast, The Power of Man, talking about helping fathers and husbands to get stronger, to, live more accountable lives, to become better fathers, husbands, and men tomorrow than they are today, to serve their families. I mean, folks, how can those be bad things? And yet I've had hate thrown at me for 6 years that would make you blush, including 3 death threats. I get it. I get that it's not easy. And that's why simply standing up, acknowledging God, sharing your testimony, and hopefully motivating others, and sharing that testimony with 10 more people to build discipleship. That's why those things, just those things, make you a lion. A lion doesn't go out and attack. A lion protects what's his and what's hers. Lions protect their own. Folks, as we go on, this podcast, I'm sure, will take some twists and turns. We'll hear some very unique stories. We'll hear from people from all walks of life. I already have dozens of interviews lined up with these folks, ready to go. We're going to hear from some very unique people, from some powerful people. We're going to hear from some people who have some amazing stories. I hope you will come along for the ride. I hope you'll be part of our journey. And I hope that you will decide to help us with this mission. We need all the help we can get. We're already getting hate, and this is episode 1. So I know what's coming. Folks, this journey is going to be a long one. It's going to be a hard one. And I could use your help. Come on along for the ride. Follow us on this journey. There's going to be a lot more for you. In the end, the mission here is to build. The mission here is to motivate and inspire. We want to build congregations. We want to help Christian churches grow. We want to help people grow and be exposed to ideas that they may never have even thought of before. And we want to help as many people as we can find God. That's it. That's who we are. That's what we're about. And that's what this show is. I am looking forward to moving forward with every one of you. Thank you for tuning in today. This is Wake Up the Lions. When you are called, answer. You can do it. You were meant to. Until next time.